The ISAR Astrology Day Symposium is taking place on the 19th and 20th of March, and it's bringing together astrologers from all over the world who are going to be in particular exploring issues relating to the pandemic that's changed the face of the planet and society in the past 2 years. And today we're speaking to Alex Trenoweth, who will be speaking at the symposium. Alex is the CAP ISAR president and also the program manager for ISAR UK Star Club. And also, I should add, the author of Growing Pains, which is a groundbreaking book on astrology and education. Now, Alex, can you share with us a bit about what inspired you to talk about your specific topic, which is entitled When God Seems to Have Turned His Back on Us, but which I understand deals with the consequences of the pandemic in relation to education in particular?
Yes, that's correct. I've been saying for many years that the educational system is inadequate, that it has its shortcomings, and that we need to revolutionize it. And what I was hoping for in many lectures I've given was that when Jupiter and Saturn had their conjunction in Aquarius, in the Western system, that we would have this breakthrough in education, that we would realize, wow, we can really make education more bespoke for students and allow them to more independent learning. But for goodness sake, I never said bring a pandemic down on our heads and close the schools. And so, I remember this very sorrowful moment, my last couple of weeks of teaching, and none of us knew what was going to happen in terms of how we're going to teach our children. We worked on packs, educational packs. We sent all the children home with these great big 100 things to do at home that we hoped that would help support parents in their new roles as teachers. And, I saw a lot of these packs blowing in the wind as I made my way home. And I suddenly changed, my role suddenly changed too. Suddenly I became this consultant for lost parents. How do I teach my child? I can't talk to my child for an hour. And I realized, wow, this is a really big thing, because teaching a child is not about talking to them for an hour. You give them an objective, you give them a task to do, 20 minutes later, go make a sandwich or whatever you're going to do, come back, check your work, whatever. That's what teaching is about. It's not about the nonstop information pushing it into the kids. Coloring is a skill they need to learn. It helps their handwriting. Watching a film and doing a review is a skill, but all these things, parents are unaware of what happens in a classroom. And it really opened my eyes to this idea that, teaching is not a babysitting service.
Yeah.
Parents need to be engaged with the educational process. It really shouldn't have come down to the situation where parents are, taking care of the child all the time and struggling. That shouldn't have happened. And so I really felt from an educational perspective that this was a great opportunity to make parents aware of what actually happens in the classroom and how to be involved in their child's learning, to help families learn how to get along better together and resolve their issues without slamming the door in the morning on the way to school or to work, coming back to a dinner over a movie or whatever. It comes down to realizing that your family is everything. And the family is the core concept of society, and your community is an outstretch of that. So my ideal was when it seemed the gods had turned their backs on, is looking at this time of the pandemic as an opportunity, rather than this great struggle or this horrible thing that has happened to us. I know that we've all suffered losses and we've all had great struggles and difficulties, but every good book says, if you seek, you will find. And I passionately believe if you search for joy and if you search for opportunities, you are going to find it. So I wanted people to turn their thinking around on this and stop thinking about the pandemic as this terrible tragedy, and instead of this glorious opportunity to get to know our families. Now, coming back to school after nearly 2 years of being away, I can see that there's been a major disruption. Behavior in classrooms is not what it used to be, especially in secondary schools. But think about what those teenagers have gone through they've gone through this, their brains are developing, but they've done it under lockdown, without contact with their peers and those sort of things. So they're having to re-navigate the social system that they had disrupted. So, you know, I want my talk to be about optimism and about opportunity and growth and finding those things in adverse conditions, because we are always going to have this time of difficulties and times of great opportunities. The wheel turns all the time, and we need to learn how to ride with that rhythm. And so that's basically what my talk is about.
All right, that sounds wonderful. And so you know, when you mentioned that you had been anticipating this Jupiter-Saturn conjunction in Aquarius to be a great opportunity for possibly, you know, new ways of approaching education, and I suppose also one might add technology being part of that and so on. So although the pandemic has been such a great disruption, I guess what you're saying is that there's still an opportunity to take from this catastrophe, if we're going to call it that, some lessons and to seize some of those new ways of doing things, and identify also what's dysfunctional in the system, and you know, build back better, as it were, I suppose.
What I've noticed coming back is that we have a lot more children whose learning needs are more particular. I think that, you know, when the educational system first started, it was kind of the concept of one size fits all.
Mm-hmm.
But now we are really addressing particular learning needs. And
Mm-hmm.
we know that some people love to work with numbers and some people are terrified of them. We know some people love to work with words and some people don't. We know that we have children that come from different countries. You know, I live in London, which is, you know, an international city, which has lots of immigrants coming in. But we know that, you know, English often isn't the only language that a child speaks.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've been ignoring that. And I think we are addressing this in ISAR as well, in terms
mm-hmm.
of
Mm-hmm.
getting our global directors to be involved in doing their star clubs in their native languages.
Mm-hmm.
I know, I speak a little bit of French and a little bit of Bengali, and I know that there are terms and things like that that I don't quite understand, because it's a different, the vocabulary doesn't match, the idioms are completely different.
Right.
So I think you know, ISAR is coming into this very exciting stage of addressing all the different cultures. And I think that's what's exciting about being involved in a truly international community.
Right.
Which is all Jupiter, by the way.
Yes, no, indeed. So Alex, so who is your target audience for this? Who would benefit from this? You know, and is it something for everyone, or who do you have in mind in particular?
I have Jupiter in Cancer at its super exalted degree. And I've always told myself, you know, whenever you do, if you do it with the idea of engaging families and parents and children, I'm going to be okay. So this is who it's aimed at. It's aimed at parents and teachers and anybody who works with children. I have a lot of practice with dealing with people who don't know too much about astrology, but I can teach them how a little bit of astrology can help them support the children that they love.
Wonderful, Alex. Well, I look forward to attending your talk, and I'm sure it's going to be a wonderful contribution to parents and teachers alike. And so you can catch Alex on the 19th of March at 4:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so you'll find a link below to register for this symposium. It's $75 US for members of ISAR and $120 for non-members. But that $120 will include a year's ISAR subscription, which is a fantastic deal. Well, Alex, thank you for sharing some of your ideas about this topic that you'll be presenting on at the symposium. And good luck with that, and I look forward to attending.
Thank you.